Welcome to today's Transformation Dive with Earn Flow Zone, where we unlock your potential and build the financial future you deserve. What if I told you that the secret to having more money isn't always about earning more money? Sounds a little counterintuitive, right? Like telling a marathon runner the key isn't faster legs, but maybe better shoes. Or a chef that the secret isn't more ingredients, but a sharper knife. It's a bold claim, and it flies in the face of most generic financial advice. But that's exactly what we're exploring today, challenging the conventional wisdom that keeps so many people stuck on a financial treadmill. You know the feeling. You work hard, maybe really hard. You've leveled up your career. You might earn a decent income, certainly more than you used to. You responsibly pay the bills. Maybe you even manage to stash a little bit away into savings or investments each month. By all traditional metrics, you're doing the right things. And yet, you feel stuck. There's a constant, low-grade anxiety that you're on a treadmill, pushing harder, earning more, chasing opportunities, but never quite getting ahead. It feels like you're constantly trading your precious, irreplaceable life minutes and hours for a paycheck. The common advice shouted from every corner is simple: earn more, spend less. And sure, there's truth to that equation. But what if you're already earning a decent amount for you right now, and you feel like you've cut back on spending until you're practically living on ramen and rainwater? It feels like you're already stretched thin, sacrificing time with loved ones, hobbies, or even just sleep, all in the name of the grind. You look at people who seem financially free, who have broken through, and you think they must be luckier, or inherently smarter, or maybe they just work even harder than I do. The pressure builds, the endless to-do list looms, and the feeling that there's simply not enough gnaws at you. Not enough money, certainly, but also not enough time, not enough energy, not enough headspace to even think about how to change things. It all feels like a money problem, a simple deficit on the spreadsheet. But what if the actual hidden bottleneck isn't your income at all? What if the real constraint, the thing holding you back from true financial flow, is actually your time? If you're into real, actionable money and mindset content like this, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think and tells the algorithm you want more stuff that can actually make a difference. And quickly, drop a comment with where you're watching from or your biggest money habit win over the past year. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. You see, we live in a world that glorifies the hustle. Work more hours, take on side gigs, always be on. And yes, effort matters. But there's a point of diminishing returns. When you're trading an hour of your life for a fixed dollar amount, there's a ceiling. Your income is capped by the hours you have available. And let's face it, we all get the same 24 hours in a day, even the folks who seem to have it all figured out. This is the core concept we need to grasp. When you solely focus on increasing income by selling more of your time, you inherently create a time bottleneck. You might earn more money, but you buy yourself more stress, more exhaustion, and less freedom. It's like trying to make a garden grow faster by just pouring more water on it every hour. Eventually, you just drown the plants. The surprising truth is that often, the most financially successful people aren't necessarily working harder in terms of brute hours. They're working smarter in terms of how they use their time, or they've figured out how to decouple their income from their time entirely. They understand that time is the finite resource, the true non-renewable asset. Money can be earned back, multiplied, saved. Time, once spent, is gone forever. Think about it. You can always make another dollar, but you can't make another minute. The myth is that success comes from just grinding more hours. The reality is that sustainable financial growth comes from strategically leveraging your time for maximum impact, or finding ways your money can earn you time back. This mindset shift from "how can I earn more money" to "how can I better leverage my time" is the fundamental decision that can unlock your financial flow. It forces you to look beyond the hourly rate and start thinking about productivity, efficiency, automation, delegation, and building assets that don't require your constant active input. It's the difference between being a bricklayer, paid by the hour or brick, and an architect, paid for the design that can be built multiple times. Both are valuable, but one leverages time differently. So let's put this into action. This week, try this. For just 3 days, track your time as diligently as you track your expenses. Use a simple note on your phone, a spreadsheet, whatever works. Just write down how you spend every 30-minute block. Be honest. You might be surprised where your time is really going. Are there leaks? Are there activities consuming vast amounts of time but yielding little in return, either financially or personally? Ask yourself, where in my week am I trading large blocks of time for small financial gains? And where am I maybe wasting time that could be used to build something that gives me more time back later? This one habit, auditing your time, changed everything for me because it showed me the real bottleneck wasn't a lack of money-making opportunities, but a lack of intentionality with the time I already had. You're busy. Everyone is busy. It's become the default response when someone asks how you are, hasn't it? You probably equate busyness with productivity, with importance, with feeling like you're constantly moving forward. Your calendar is packed. Notifications are flying. You're reacting to every email, every ping, every unexpected request. You feel it in your bones. You're working hard. You're doing things. You're in motion. But let's pause for a second and take a really honest look, maybe with a metaphorical magnifying glass. How much of that busyness is actually contributing to your financial goals? How much is building towards your long-term success or even genuinely improving your personal well-being? Are you engaged in strategic action or just trapped in frantic reaction? This is the core concept of the busyness illusion. It's the deceptive comfort of constant activity masking a lack of meaningful progress. Think of it like running furiously on a treadmill. You're expending tons of energy, feeling exhausted, maybe even sweating profusely, but you're not actually getting anywhere relative to your destination. Meanwhile, someone else might be walking steadily on a trail, maybe even stopping to check their map occasionally, but they are moving deliberately towards a specific peak. The feeling of busyness is real. The exhaustion is real. But the impact towards your important goals might be minimal or even negative. Here's a surprising fact, a real myth bust. Often, busyness isn't a sign of being in demand or highly productive. It can be a sophisticated form of avoidance. Yes, avoidance. When your schedule is back-to-back meetings that could have been emails, or you spend hours clearing out an inbox only for it to refill instantly, or you're constantly context switching between minor tasks, it feels like work. It feels like you're battling dragons. But sometimes, beneath that chaotic surface, you're avoiding the difficult, high-leverage work that would truly move the needle, like deeply researching an investment, building a strategic financial plan, learning a new skill that could boost your income, or even just sitting down to think clearly without interruption. It's easier, in a strange way, to be frantic than to be focused on something scary or difficult. Your calendar looks like a Jackson Pollock painting, and you wear the exhaustion like a badge of honor. "Oh, I'm slammed," you say, perhaps subconsciously seeking validation for your effort, regardless of output. This frantic state prevents the quiet thinking needed for smart financial decisions. The cause-effect is simple: constant reactivity, then cause, prevents strategic planning and deep work. Effect, directly hindering your ability to grow wealth or achieve significant personal milestones. So how do you break free? This one habit changed everything for me. Deliberately scheduling time for deep work and strategic thinking, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. It's not about filling every minute. It's about filling key minutes with the right activities. Ask yourself, what is the one high-impact activity related to your finances or personal growth that you are consistently too busy to do? Maybe it's reviewing your budget, setting up an automated savings transfer, learning about stocks, or finally writing down those long-term goals. Identify that one thing. Now try this for a week. Block out just 30 to 60 minutes specifically for that activity, maybe first thing in the morning or late in the evening, and protect that time fiercely. Treat it like a non-negotiable meeting with your future self. Turn off notifications, close irrelevant tabs, and focus on that one thing. You'll be surprised how much progress you can make when you trade frantic busyness for intentional action. Welcome to today's Transformation Dive, where we explore the powerful intersection of mindset, personal growth, and of course, your financial flow. You know, society often tells us that money is the only resource we truly need to guard with our lives. We obsess over budgets, track every penny, or at least feel guilty about not doing so, and stress over investments. And yes, money is critical. But what if I told you there's something even more valuable, more non-renewable, silently slipping through your fingers every single day? It's not hiding in your bank account. It's hiding in plain sight. It's your time, your energy, your focus, the true fuel for growth and financial abundance. At Earn Flow Zone, we believe that mastering your inner world is the first step to mastering your outer reality. And that includes how you manage all your assets, tangible or not. Think of this video as your guide to spotting the hidden drains on your potential, starting right now. If you're into real, actionable money and mindset content, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think. Your support keeps this channel flowing. And hey, drop a comment with where you're watching from, or your biggest money habit win you're proud of. I love hearing your stories and connecting with the community. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. Okay, so we talk a lot about tracking your spending, right? It's foundational. You wouldn't just let money disappear from your bank account without knowing where it went. That's Financial Leak Detection 101. But let's shift gears to your most valuable, non-renewable asset, your time. This is where most people have absolutely no idea what's really happening. It's like having a massive hole in your time budget, but you never bother to check the ledger. Your time just vanishes. Where does it go? Into the digital ether of endless social media feeds, into the quicksand of low-priority tasks that feel urgent, into the paralysis of indecision and the constant hum of distraction. It leaks away in tiny increments. 5 minutes here scrolling Instagram, 10 minutes there checking emails for the 20th time. 20 minutes trying to decide which tasks to start first. People often underestimate the cumulative power of these small leaks. It's not just the big chunks of time you lose. It's the constant drip, drip, drip that erodes your day, your focus, and your productivity, which ultimately impacts your ability to earn, save, and grow. Think about it like trying to get in shape without tracking your food or workouts. You think you're doing okay, but until you actually see the numbers, the calories, the missed gym sessions, you can't make real changes. The same applies to your time. Until you see the truth of where your time actually goes, you can't possibly reclaim it or invest it wisely. It's a surprising fact for many that they spend more time reacting to notifications or browsing mindlessly than they do on tasks directly related to their goals, whether those are financial goals, career goals, or personal development goals. You might think you're working 8 hours, but the reality, once tracked, might reveal that only 5 or 6 of those were truly productive hours, with the rest lost to context switching and digital rabbit holes. It's like paying for an 8-hour service, but only getting 5 hours of value. The cause-effect here is crystal clear. Unidentified time leaks mean less time for high-value activities like learning a new skill, building a side hustle, planning your finances, or even just resting and recharging, all of which are crucial for sustainable growth and financial well-being. It's not about becoming a robot who accounts for every second, but about gaining awareness to make intentional choices. This one habit changed everything for me. Simply tracking my time for a few days. It was a wake-up call, revealing shocking patterns I wasn't aware of. So, here's a prompt for action. Try this for a week. Just track your time honestly. Use a simple spreadsheet, a note app, or a dedicated tracker. Note down what you're doing in roughly 30-minute blocks. Don't judge it. Just observe. See where your time leaks are. It will be incredibly revealing, maybe even a little terrifying, but it's the first crucial step to plugging those leaks and reclaiming control over your most precious asset. As we wrap up this part of our journey, let's slow down for a moment and reflect on the core truth we've touched upon today. We started by talking about money, that tangible asset we so carefully track and guard. But the real treasure, the true foundation of your financial flow and personal growth, isn't just dollars and cents. It's your mindset, your discipline, and how you choose to spend the minutes and hours you are given. Identifying where your time leaks away isn't about guilt. It's about empowerment. It's about recognizing that every minute you reclaim from distraction or low-value activity is a minute you can reinvest in yourself, your goals, and your future prosperity. The potential long-term benefit of this awareness is immense. Imagine freeing up just 1 extra hour a day. That's 7 hours a week, over 30 hours a month, nearly 400 hours a year. What could you build, learn, or achieve with that much focused time? A side hustle? Mastering a new skill? Finally sticking to that budget? Or simply having more time for joy and rest? The deeper insight here is that financial freedom isn't just an external state you reach when you hit a certain number in your bank account. It's an internal state, cultivated through discipline, awareness, and intentional action with all your resources, especially your time and attention. It's about building a life where your energy and focus flow towards what truly matters, creating a powerful current that carries you towards your goals. In the end, your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around. You've probably heard us talk a lot about investing money, parking those dollars somewhere with the expectation they'll grow, multiply, and come back to you with friends. It's a core principle at Earn Flow Zone. But there's another investment you're making every single second, and frankly, most people are terrible at it. We're talking about time. Think of your time like a currency, a non-renewable one at that. Every hour is an investment decision. You are literally putting those precious minutes somewhere, hoping for a return. The problem is, we often don't analyze the ROI, the return on investment, of our time with the same scrutiny we apply to stocks or real estate. You wouldn't throw your money into a black hole, right? Yet, how many hours do we collectively funnel into activities that yield little to no return, and sometimes even a negative one? On one side, you have high ROI time investments. These are the hours spent learning a new skill that boosts your income potential, building a side project that could scale, engaging in strategic planning for your career or business, or crucially, investing in your health through exercise and proper rest. These hours compound. They build your capacity, expand your opportunities, and directly contribute to your financial and personal growth trajectory. It's like planting seeds that will grow into fruit-bearing trees. On the other side, you have low or even negative ROI time investments. This is the endless scroll through social media feeds. Seriously, how did we all collectively agree this was a good use of our finite lifespan? It's the hours spent complaining about problems instead of solving them. It's those famously unproductive meetings that could have been an email. Come on, you know the ones. And it's the quiet killer, procrastination, which doesn't just waste time, but also costs you energy and creates stress. It's like pouring water into a sieve. Here's a surprising habit many financially successful people share that challenges common thinking. They don't just schedule high ROI tasks, they actively defend that time. They treat scheduled learning or strategic work with the same respect they would a high-stakes client meeting. They see it as non-negotiable. Meanwhile, many others let low ROI tasks constantly interrupt or crowd out the important high-return activities. It's a subtle shift, but the cause-effect is massive. Spending an hour learning a new skill daily for a year versus spending that hour scrolling adds up to vastly different futures. One builds value, the other consumes it. It's not about being busy. It's about being effective with the time you have. Remember that gym metaphor? Showing up consistently for even 30 minutes yields results. Sitting on the couch talking about wanting to be fit does nothing. Your time investment is your personal fitness plan for success. Try this for a week. Track your time in 30-minute blocks. Don't judge it, just track. Note what you're doing and ask yourself honestly, is this high ROI or low ROI for my long-term goals? This one habit changed everything for me because it made the unconscious choices conscious. You'll see exactly where your time currency is flowing and likely where it's being wasted. Welcome to today's transformation dive into building not just a fatter bank account, but a richer life. Because let's be honest, sometimes the chase for the dollar sign feels more like a slow-motion treadmill to burnout than a sprint to freedom. We're told to hustle harder, work longer, climb the ladder. But what if the ladder is leaning against the wrong wall? What if the traditional definition of success, bigger paycheck, fancier title, is actually costing you more than you're earning? It's a bold question, maybe even a little uncomfortable, but it's exactly the kind of question we tackle here at Earn Flow Zone. We're talking about real, actionable strategies to align your money, your time, and your energy so they're working for you, not against you. If you're into real, actionable money and mindset content, hit like and subscribe. It helps way more than you think in getting these ideas out to more people who need them. And hey, I'd love to hear from you right now. Drop a comment with where you're watching from or your biggest money habit win. Big or small, celebrate it. We're going to peel back the layers on some hidden costs and overlooked assets today, challenging some deeply ingrained beliefs about work, value, and wealth. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. Moving from those foundational elements of understanding where your money goes, let's shift gears and look at the ultimate non-renewable resource, your time. You probably know your annual salary, or maybe even your hourly wage if you're paid that way. It's printed on your contract, listed on your pay stub. It feels concrete, a clear exchange of your hours for money. But is that the real price tag? What is your effective hourly rate? This is where things get eye-opening, maybe even a little painful. Think about it. Your official work hours might be 9 to 5, 40 hours a week. But what about the unpaid overtime you clock because the deadline looms or because you just feel obligated? The soul-crushing commute, an hour each way, 5 days a week, adds up to 10 hours a week you're not getting paid for, but are definitely spending because of your job. The time spent on work emails pinging on your phone outside of business hours, the quick tasks you handle on a Saturday morning, the networking events you attend that bleed into your evenings. It's like buying a gym membership but then paying extra for every single machine you use. The advertised price isn't the total cost. Then there's the less tangible but equally real cost, the energy drained by office politics, navigating tricky relationships, or simply the mental load of dealing with workplace stress. That stress isn't free. It requires recovery time, maybe a weekend spent completely drained on the couch, instead of pursuing a hobby or connecting with loved ones. That time and energy, that's part of the price you're paying for that paycheck. When you factor in all these hidden hours and the recovery time needed from the energy drain, that official hourly rate starts plummeting. A surprising fact for many people is that once you calculate your effective hourly rate, accounting for everything, it can be significantly lower, sometimes even less than minimum wage, depending on the situation. It challenges the common thinking that a high salary automatically equals high value for your time. Understanding this true cost of your time in your current situation reveals whether that good paycheck is actually worth the life you're trading for it. It's not about complaining. It's about gaining clarity, which is the first step to taking control. Ask yourself, what's stopping you from calculating your own effective hourly rate? Try this for a week. Genuinely track all time and energy related to your job, not just the hours you're officially paid for. Include the commute, the after-hours emails, the decompression time needed on the weekend. Do the math. Divide your weekly take-home pay by the total hours energy units you're dedicating to that job. This one habit changed everything for me in evaluating opportunities. It forces you to see your time as a precious, finite resource, not just something you trade blindly for dollars. It's like looking under the hood of the car instead of just admiring the paint job. So, we've covered the crucial difference between your official pay rate and your effective hourly rate, factoring in all those hidden costs like commute, unpaid time, and energy drain. The big takeaway here isn't necessarily that you need to quit your job tomorrow, though for some, this calculation can be the necessary catalyst. The real power lies in clarity and making informed decisions. When you understand the true price you're paying for your current income, you're in a much stronger position to negotiate, set boundaries, or evaluate alternative paths that might offer a lower dollar amount, but a significantly higher effective hourly rate, because they demand less of your time and energy away from core tasks. Or perhaps offer a shorter commute or a more aligned culture. The potential long-term benefit of embracing this perspective is profound. You start valuing your life minutes as much as your dollars. This shift in mindset can lead to choices that build genuine wealth, more freedom, reduce stress, and energy available for personal growth, relationships, and pursuing passions. It's about building a life you don't feel the constant need to escape from every Friday afternoon. A deeper insight is recognizing that money is primarily a tool, but time is the canvas upon which your life is painted. Don't let the pursuit of one blindly consume the other. Your decisions about how you earn and spend your time have a compounding effect far beyond your bank balance. They shape your experiences, your well-being, and ultimately, the richness of your existence. In the end, your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around. Okay, so we've talked about setting your sights high and getting clear on your goals, mapping out the path to your earn flow zone. But now we need to confront the insidious saboteurs that lurk on that path, the silent thieves of your most precious resource, time. Welcome to Section 6, where we're unapologetically killing the time wasters. You know the feeling. You block out an hour to work on that side hustle project, or analyze potential investments, or even just plan your budget. Yet somehow, that hour evaporates. Maybe it's the task that expands to fill the time available. You intended to draft that email in 15 minutes, and suddenly you've spent 45 wordsmithing a single paragraph. Or perhaps you fall into the trap of the endless search for the perfect tool or method. You spend hours comparing productivity apps, CRM software, or investment platforms, convinced that finding the absolute ideal solution is productive work. It feels like progress, like preparation, but often it's just procrastination dressed in a smart outfit. And don't even get me started on the distractions masquerading as necessary checks. Just quickly check email becomes 20 minutes lost. Need to see if that message came through leads to scrolling through social media for half an hour. It's like constantly checking your fitness tracker display instead of actually doing the workout. These aren't just minor annoyances, they are insidious drains on your most valuable resource, your time, and by extension, your potential for financial growth. They prevent you from focusing on the high-impact activities that actually move the needle on your income, savings, or asset building. Think about it. Every minute spent tweaking a spreadsheet font instead of calling a potential client is a minute lost. Every hour spent researching the 10th best project management app instead of executing the project itself is an hour of delayed results. People often underestimate the cumulative damage of these small leaks. It's like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain slightly open. You're putting effort in, but you're constantly losing ground. The truth is, busyness does not equal productivity, and motion does not always mean progress. You can be incredibly busy responding to emails and attending non-essential meetings all day and end up 0% closer to your big financial goals. It's a myth that constant activity is the hallmark of success. Often, it's the focused, undistracted deep work that creates real value. The surprising habit that changes everything? ruthlessly protecting blocks of time for your high-impact tasks, like their appointment with a VIP, you. So, how do you start killing these time vampires? First, you have to acknowledge them. They are sneaky. They often feel necessary or urgent in the moment. But they are taking time you could be using to strategize, create, build, and earn. The cause and effect is crystal clear. More time wasted on low-impact activities equals less time invested in high-impact actions, resulting in slower financial progress or even stagnation. Conversely, identifying and eliminating these drains frees up precious hours that can be channeled directly into building your earn flow zone. This isn't about being a robot. It's about being intentional. Ask yourself, what's stopping you from allocating dedicated, distraction-free blocks to your most important financial or growth tasks? Try this for a week. Track your time for 2 days, honestly noting where the minutes and hours actually go. You might be shocked. Then, identify your top 3 time-wasting habits. This one habit, brutal honesty about where your time is going, changed everything for me. Once you see the leaks, you can start patching them. Maybe it's scheduling specific times to check email, and only then. Maybe it's setting a timer for tasks that tend to expand. Maybe it's simply deciding that good enough is perfect for the low-impact stuff, freeing your energy for the high-impact work. Killing the time wasters is an active decision, a constant vigilance against the subtle forces that want to keep you busy but broke. Okay, we've talked about optimizing your money flow and building strong financial foundations. But here's where things get really interesting and honestly a little uncomfortable for some. We need to talk about your most valuable, non-renewable asset. Not gold, not crypto, not even prime real estate. I'm talking about your time. This is Section 7, and it's titled Time for Growth. You see, people often underestimate the power of investing their time for financial and personal growth. They're so focused on where to put their dollars, they forget about where they're putting their minutes and hours. And let me tell you, where you invest your time has the highest potential return of any investment you can make. Forget the stock market for a second. Investing in yourself, in your skills, in your health, in building your network, in gaining knowledge, that's the ultimate leverage play. This isn't some fluffy self-help concept. It's the most fundamental investment strategy there is. It's like trying to build a skyscraper without reinforcing the foundation. You can pour all the concrete you want, but without a solid base, which is you, it's all going to come crashing down eventually. Here's a surprising fact that challenges common thinking. Many financially successful people aren't necessarily the ones who started with the most capital, but the ones who consistently invested in increasing their own value over time. Think about it. An hour spent scrolling aimlessly through social media might offer a fleeting dopamine hit, but it yields precisely nothing in terms of tangible future value. It's the time equivalent of putting money in a savings account with a 0% interest rate and then complaining you're not getting rich. On the flip side, an hour spent learning a high-demand skill, whether it's coding, digital marketing, graphic design, or even just mastering advanced spreadsheets, can fundamentally change your income trajectory for life. That's an investment with potentially infinite ROI. You're literally making yourself more valuable to the market. And guess what the market rewards? Value. This one habit changed everything for me. Treating my time like currency. I stopped seeing free time. as just empty space to fill and started seeing it as investment capital for personal growth. Instead of defaulting to Netflix or doom scrolling when I had a spare hour, I'd ask myself, okay, where can I invest this hour to make future me better off? Sometimes that meant reading a book on my industry. Other times it meant going for a run to boost my physical and mental health, which, trust me, impacts productivity and decision-making hugely. And sometimes it meant reaching out to someone in my network. It wasn't always glamorous, and sometimes it felt like doing push-ups when you'd rather be on the couch. But the results compound just like financial investments. You know how people say compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world? Well, compounding personal growth is the ninth, and arguably more powerful initially. Like, did you really just watch 3 hours of cat videos? Your future self is crying into a bowl of instant ramen right now. This leads us to an important reflection. Ask yourself, what's stopping you from investing your time this way? Is it lack of clarity on what to learn? Is it feeling overwhelmed? Is it simply the addictive pull of easy distractions? Try this for a week. Block out just 30 minutes a day for dedicated self-improvement. It could be reading a relevant article, watching an educational video, practicing a skill, or even just planning your high-leverage tasks for the day. Don't worry about finding hours. Start with minutes. The point is to build the habit of treating your time as an investment. Because the return on investing in yourself, it's literally priceless. It opens doors you didn't even know existed, financially and otherwise. Section 8. Building time leverage. Look, we've talked about boosting your hourly rate, mastering your cash flow, optimizing budgets, all crucial steps. But here's the truth bomb, something they don't always teach you in school. The ultimate goal isn't just to earn more per hour, but to earn without constantly trading your precious, finite hours for dollars. Think of it like upgrading your fitness. You start by running faster, lifting heavier, but eventually, you learn that a truly fit person builds muscle, which burns calories even at rest, and optimizes their nutrition and recovery systems, so their body works for them, not just when they're actively exercising. That's leverage in the financial world, and it's where the real freedom is built under the earned flow zone philosophy. This is where leverage comes in. Building assets or systems that generate income or value independent of your direct, moment-to-moment effort. It's moving off the hamster wheel and onto the compounding asset train. People often underestimate the power of this shift. They grind harder at their job, chasing the next promotion or raise, which is great, but it still ties their income directly to their time. What happens when you want to travel? When you get sick? When you just want a Tuesday morning to yourself? Your income stops or slows dramatically. That's the brutal reality of a purely time-for-money exchange. Building time leverage means creating something that keeps working, keeps generating value, even when you're not actively doing the work. This could be building systems within your business that automate tasks or allow others to execute them efficiently. It could be creating content, like online courses, videos, or ebooks that people purchase or watch repeatedly, generating income long after you hit publish. Think of it as baking a cake once and then being able to sell slices for years. It takes upfront effort, sure, but the ongoing return is decoupled from your continuous labor. Or it might be investing in assets that appreciate over time or pay dividends, stocks, real estate, even building a valuable brand or intellectual property. Your money or your creation is now working for you. One surprising habit: consistently documenting processes at work or in your side hustle. It feels tedious, but it's the first step to automating, delegating, or selling that system later. This one habit changed everything for me. It transformed chaotic tasks into reproducible, leverageable assets. The cause-effect here is powerful and simple. Dedicated upfront effort, cause, creates an asset or system, effect, that generates ongoing value or income, secondary effect. With minimal or no ongoing time investment from you, the ultimate goal. It's the opposite of digging a ditch where the work stops when you put the shovel down. It's building a machine that keeps digging while you plan the next project, or frankly, while you're asleep. Wouldn't that be nice? Your bank account subtly growing while you dream about pizza. Ask yourself, what task do I repeat most often that could potentially be automated or delegated? What knowledge do I have that could be packaged into content? Where could I invest a small amount consistently to build an asset that works for me? Try this for a week. Identify one thing you currently do that feels like a direct time-for-money trade, and brainstorm just 3 ways you could introduce leverage into it. It's a mindset shift from being the worker bee to being the hive architect. Okay, we've talked about briefly mentioned concept from previous section, taking decisive action, building momentum. But there's a silent killer many people overlook when it comes to their financial and personal climb. It's not always a direct expense or a bad investment. Often, it's the cost of doing nothing. This is where we confront the uncomfortable truth about the opportunity cost. Look, most people view procrastination, indecision, or just plain putting things off as merely wasting time. Maybe you think, I'll get to it tomorrow, or I just need a little more time to decide. It feels harmless, like hitting snooze on a Tuesday morning. But that's where the myth lies. Delay doesn't just consume minutes or hours. It has a profound, tangible financial cost you rarely see itemized. Imagine you have an idea for a side hustle, a strategic career move, a high-value task that could significantly boost your income or skills, or even just sorting out a confusing financial account. Every hour you spend delaying the first step, putting off sending that application, or hesitating on making that key decision is an hour where you are not earning, not building, not learning a valuable skill, not progressing towards your goals. This isn't just unproductive time, it's actively costing you the potential earnings, growth, or savings you could have generated in that same period. This is the opportunity cost of your time, the real, albeit invisible, value of the opportunity you lose by spending your time suboptimally, usually by doing something far less productive than the high-value task you're avoiding. It's like standing still in a race where prizes are handed out every few seconds. You're not just not moving, you're losing potential gains. Think about applying for that job with a higher salary. If you delay for a week, that's a week of potentially higher income you forfeited. If you hesitate on investing in a promising skill that could open new earning avenues, you're losing the potential return on that skill development. It's the difference between putting your money to work or letting it sit idle, or worse, spending it on low-value activities. People often underestimate this because the cost isn't a bill that arrives in the mail. It's the phantom pain of potential. It's like when you put off fixing that leaky faucet. It's not just annoying. It's costing you water and, potentially, leading to bigger, more expensive problems down the line. Or like scrolling mindlessly through social media for an hour, instead of working on that proposal that could land you a new client. That hour didn't just vanish. It cost you the potential revenue from that client. It's not just wasted time, it's unearned money or unrealized growth. The surprising part: this opportunity cost compounds just like interest. The longer you delay, the more opportunities slip away, and the harder it becomes to catch up. That job might go to someone else. That skill might become less valuable. That initial momentum is lost. The cause effect is direct. Inaction today directly leads to a quantifiable loss of potential value tomorrow. The habit you need to cultivate is recognizing this cost in real time and choosing action over delay. It's not about being perfect, but about understanding that hesitation isn't free. It comes with a price tag. Try this for a week. Identify one high-value task related to your finances or growth that you've been putting off. Before you delay, ask yourself, what is the opportunity cost of not doing this right now? What am I potentially losing by waiting? This one habit changed everything for me. Just framing delay in terms of loss rather than just wasted time provides a powerful push towards action. Knowing this invisible cost is the first step. Your time. It's the single resource you possess that once spent can never ever be replenished. Not a single second. You can always earn more money, acquire more possessions, learn new skills, but time, it's the ultimate non-renewable asset. And paradoxically, people often treat it like a bottomless well. They underestimate its true value, especially when it comes to building financial freedom or achieving personal growth. Others, consciously or unconsciously, will constantly try to claim pieces of it. You know the drill. The colleague who wanders over for a quick question that somehow morphs into a 30-minute tangent about their weekend. The cascade of meeting invites that fill your calendar with discussions that could have been an email. Social obligations that feel like a drain rather than a boost. Notifications that ping relentlessly, each one a tiny burglar demanding your attention right now. It's like everyone has a little siphon ready to tap into your most precious supply. But here's the most critical and often overlooked part. While others are trying to claim your time, you are frequently your own biggest time saboteur. You wouldn't hand your wallet to a stranger, but you freely surrender blocks of your precious time to distractions, unchecked impulses, and a fundamental failure to set boundaries. Not just with others, but crucially, with yourself. Allowing constant interruptions, failing to prioritize tasks effectively, or not scheduling focused deep work are all ways you undermine your potential. It's like trying to save money while having an unlimited subscription to things you don't need. The leaks are internal. This constant erosion of your time isn't just about feeling busy. It has direct financial and growth implications. When you're perpetually interrupted, the quality of your work suffers, productivity plummets, and tasks take twice as long. Time lost to aimless scrolling or unproductive meetings is time not spent on strategic planning, skill development, or focused income-generating work. It's an invisible tax on your earning potential and your ability to build the future you envision. Protecting your time is fundamentally protecting your future, your financial health, and your peace of mind. Think of time management not just as productivity hacking, but as essential financial hygiene. You're budgeting your life force. The core concept is simple but radical. Actively guarding your time is one of the most powerful financial and personal growth strategies you can adopt. It requires a mindset shift, recognizing that saying no to distractions or low-value tasks isn't being difficult, it's being strategic. It's about treating your calendar and your attention span with the same respect you give your bank account. This one habit changed everything for me. I started blocking out focus time on my calendar, non-negotiable slots for deep work, creative thinking, or crucial planning, and defended them fiercely, just as I would defend a major investment. Ask yourself, what's stopping you from treating your time as the priceless asset it is? Is it fear of missing out, a reluctance to set boundaries, or just the sheer inertia of existing habits? Welcome to today's Transformation Dive here at Earn Flow Zone. You know, from the moment we step into school, we're conditioned to believe that success means trading our time for a wage. Get good grades, they say. Find a stable job, they advise. Work hard, they emphasize. And so you work hard. You put in the hours. You chase the next raise, the bigger paycheck per hour. But you look around and you see people who don't seem to be working harder than you. Yet they're achieving a level of financial freedom that feels worlds away. You might start to feel like you're on a financial treadmill. Maybe you've even cranked up the speed, but you're not actually moving forward towards true abundance, just staying in the same place, maybe getting a little more tired. It's like you're trying to get rich by selling individual grains of sand when others are building a whole beach. That's because the fundamental strategy is flawed. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this. We're not just talking about working smarter. We're talking about changing the game entirely. It's about entering the earn flow zone, where your energy, your time, and your income work for you, not just because of you. If you're tired of just trading hours for dollars, and you're ready to build a life where your efforts compound and your time becomes your greatest asset, you're definitely in the right place. If you're into real, actionable, money and mindset content that cuts through the noise and gives you practical steps, hit like and subscribe. It honestly helps way more than you think the algorithm blesses us with. And before we jump into the meat of it, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment with where you're watching from or your biggest money habit win so far. Let's share the wins and build this community together. Let's dive in and change the way you think about success. This brings us to the absolute core of everything we discuss at Earn Flow Zone, especially when it comes to building lasting wealth. The fundamental mindset shift you must embrace. It's not just about tweaking what you're currently doing, like trying to squeeze out a few extra dollars per hour from your job, or charging a slightly higher rate as a freelancer. While those tactical moves have their place, they're like trying to win a race by just polishing your running shoes. You're still running the same race on the same track. The real transformation isn't about doing more or earning more per hour. It is, profoundly, about changing your mindset around time itself. You have to stop seeing time as just a block on your calendar to be filled, or worse, just a commodity to be traded directly for money. Time isn't an endless buffet you can keep going back to. It's a precious, finite resource, like that crucial ingredient in a complex recipe. You wouldn't just throw your most critical ingredient into the first dish you make, right? You'd think about how to use it strategically for maximum impact. Your time deserves that same strategic allocation. People often get stuck viewing their financial potential solely through the dollars per hour lens. They spend years climbing the corporate ladder for a better salary or meticulously track billable hours. And yes, increasing your hourly rate is smart. It makes the time you do trade more valuable. But here's the myth bust. The wealthiest people don't necessarily earn the most per hour for routine tasks. They've figured out how to decouple their income from their time spent. They've shifted their focus from, how can I earn more per hour by working more, to how can I make my hours extraordinarily valuable by building things that multiply my effort. And eventually, how can I build systems, assets, or leverage that allow me to earn significant income without requiring me to be physically present, trading hour for hour? This fundamental shift is the difference between being a highly paid, well-respected chef who still has to cook every meal themselves and someone who built a chain of restaurants where others cook the meals, earning royalties or profits passively. You see, trading hours for dollars puts a hard cap on your earning potential. It's the linear model. What happens when you're sick? What happens when you want to take a vacation? Income stops or reduces. This is the cause and effect of the time for money equation. A habit that utterly transformed my perspective was consciously categorizing my time. Not just logging what I did, but asking, was this time invested in creating future value, like learning a new skill, building a digital asset, setting up an automated system, or was it merely time spent on tasks that only yield immediate results, answering routine emails, attending pointless meetings? Try this for just 1 week. It's brutally insightful. For every significant block of time, ask, was this an investment or an expense of my time? Ask yourself, what's stopping you from carving out just 30 minutes a day, consistently, to invest in something that could pay dividends for years? Realizing this distinction and acting on it is the key that unlocks the cage of the hourly trap and begins building true financial freedom, one strategically invested hour at a time. Okay, so we've walked through some powerful concepts today, diving deep into how changing your fundamental perspective, especially around something as seemingly simple as time, can unlock a completely different level of financial and personal growth. If there's one major takeaway from all of this, something to really let sink in, it's this: your current financial reality is less a result of how hard you work and more a reflection of your core thinking and habits around money, value, and time. It's not about finding a magic button or a secret loophole to get rich quick. It's about making conscious, often difficult, decisions to shift your mindset and strategically invest your most valuable resources, your energy, your attention, and yes, your time. This is where the real leverage comes from. The potential long-term benefit of internalizing this isn't just the numbers in your bank account going up, although that's a welcome outcome. It's profound freedom. It's the freedom to choose how you spend your most precious days, the freedom to pursue your deepest passions without the constant, nagging pressure of needing to trade time just to survive, the freedom to design and live a life truly on your own terms. This journey requires discipline, absolutely. But it's not the soul-crushing discipline of grinding away at work you hate. It's the empowering discipline of choosing growth over stagnation, of choosing abundance over scarcity, of choosing to be the deliberate architect of your financial future, one strategically invested hour at a time. A deeper insight here is that money isn't the root cause of financial success. It's merely a tool, an amplifier. What it amplifies depends entirely on the operating system of your mindset. If your mindset is rooted in scarcity, fear, and trading time for survival, money will amplify those limitations. If your mindset is wired for growth, investment, and creating value that scales beyond your direct effort, money will amplify that potential exponentially. It's a mirror, reflecting your internal financial world. So, as you wrap up watching today, take a moment. What small but significant shift in perspective can you commit to making starting now? What's just 1 hour this week you can stop spending on low-return activities and deliberately start investing in building your future? The journey of building true wealth and freedom isn't always about gigantic leaps. It's often about consistently taking those small, strategically significant steps. Remember this truth, because it's the bedrock of the earn flow zone philosophy. In the end, your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around. You've journeyed through recognizing the patterns that hold you back, the subtle mindsets that keep you orbiting around busyness instead of truly building. And now, as we land this flight, it becomes crystal clear what that often ignored resource truly is. It's not some hidden investment opportunity or a secret side hustle you haven't found yet. It's the finite, precious allocation of your time, energy, and focus. Your life force itself. People often underestimate just how much they trade this irreplaceable asset for a temporary gain. Stuck in the loop we talked about, the one where working hard feels productive, even if it's building nothing substantial. Here's the surprising twist. Wealth isn't just about accumulating dollars. It's about strategically deploying your richest resource. It's the difference between someone who constantly chases the next dollar by putting in more hours and someone who invests their time and energy into building systems, skills, or assets that generate value without their constant presence. The first is on that hamster wheel, forever needing to run. The second is building leverage, creating freedom. The biggest takeaway today is this. Until you become intentional about how you spend your time, how you direct your energy, and what truly captures your focus, you will likely continue feeling busy but stuck. The long-term benefit of mastering this resource isn't just more money. It's genuine freedom. Freedom to choose your work, your location, your pace. Freedom from the constant pressure of trading life for livelihood. It's about building a life where your assets, be it your knowledge, your systems, or your actual investments, do the heavy lifting, allowing you to step off the wheel. Ask yourself this week, where is my richest resource really going? Is it funding temporary busyness, or is it fueling strategic growth and building lasting leverage? This isn't just a financial question. It's a question about your life. The profound insight? Money is a tool, but time and energy are the foundational building blocks of true wealth and fulfillment. Prioritize them, protect them, and deploy them wisely. Remember this simple truth. In the end, your bank account will catch up to your mindset, not the other way around.